chair of education, and as I said, there is no such thing as a for-profit charter school. They are all public schools. They can choose, I mean, Rochester schools could choose, they choose a for-profit company to provide their textbooks. They choose a for-profit company to supply them other things, and so this is something that, you know, it's about choice. Look, for decades, there's always been one thing after another that liberals have said, we got to keep these kids locked in a failing school. Let's say transparency. Let's say this. Let's say that. I think it's important to give these parents and kids a choice. I think it's morally abysmal what we have done to these kids for decades, and I'm very thankful that we have finally given parents a choice.
I'd like to comment on that. Once again, job description. Represent Rochester, job one. We don't have a for-profit charter school, we don't have cyber schools. And I'd like to get in on those cyber schools because that really bothers me. For those of you who don't know what's going on, cyber schools are, you know, mainly for if you're homeschooling or if you decide to stay home, and that's terrific. But the state decided to do a 2-year study and then analyze, are these effective? And then maybe it's the best thing since sliced toast, we should all do it. Well, after 1 year, you didn't do the study, you opened it up and said this is good enough. Now, I bet a lot of you here are automotive people, and you don't put a part in a car without doing R&D. My husband, you're going to hear me talk about him because I know him pretty well, he's a dentist. He does dental implants. You do R&D before you put a dental implant in somebody's mouth. So why in the world would you pass untested cyber schools and you're taking the full per pupil funding, which is our money, and giving it, and then there is a tremendous profit to be made. And people are out there chomping at the bit because they want to make money from our children. And so I fundamentally have problems with it on 2 levels, that you didn't run the test. You should have just done the test and waited a year, and you didn't do that. And again, I'm not a scientist, I'm a sales and marketing person. But I'm married to a scientist, and my son's a scientist. So I get enough from them that you have to do the research, and I guess I would like to know why we opened the floodgates for that, because it wasn't tested.
Well, I mean, it's very tested. Cyber charters have been around for 20 years in various states. It's certainly something that is very tested. There was a waiting list of over 5,000 kids. Now, maybe you're okay with locking kids in failing schools, but there were 5,000 kids that wanted that option. And, you know, the testing that you talk about was put in by Jennifer Granholm, and she agreed to it, and she's not somebody who's an advocate for helping kids get choices. And so, you know, it was something that was just a stall tactic. These are very tested. They've been around for 20 years. And again, nobody's forcing them to go to a cyber charter. If a parent does not like what the quality is, they don't have to go there. They can pull the child out. So again, it's this mentality of not giving parents and kids a choice. We've seen it for 30 years. I think it's morally indefensible, and I'm just thankful that we're giving parents options now.